Well, baby, you've been on my mind. I think about you all the time. Oh, I want to see your face.
I am very, 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 very happy. I feel like I kind of made this happen. These two always see each other. This is Max Kerr.
I don't get to see him as much as
I'm going to tell you right now, we did the world an injustice by not videoing and having you on camera, brother.
To be quite honest, this place looked like a porn studio, a used porn studio, to be quite honest, before I walked in, when I was here the first time.
And to
Not
what
to
now?
mention that there was some fluid stains on the wall. So,
by the way, cheers, brother. What'd you bring us to drink? You brought the fancy stuff.
Just Weller.
Oh. Brandon, if you notice on his arm, he's not doing heroin again.
Does Dan get in on the cheers?
Yeah, he usually does. Brandon's not doing heroin, guys. He literally just gave blood. He's been fasting all morning.
Is that kind of one of those he who smelt it dealt it things? So if you say that they didn't do it, then that's exactly what they did.
Yeah. Bleeding pretty hard still.
And he got a lollipop, so it's all worked good.
Yeah, I did some blood draw. They're doing all the testing. So I'm doing the Life Force.
Yeah, tell me about this.
So Tony Robbins, Pierre DeMantis, I heard a podcast.
Does it make your teeth grow?
And they're not growing yet.
No.
Yeah.
That was pretty good.
It's all about
The man is huge.
health. He's got a like a pituitary tumor, right?
Yep.
No. So he's a big dude.
He finally just got into sleep.
You know how old he is too?
Yeah, he finally just got into sleep. It's awesome.
He looks great for 62 or whatever.
Oh yeah, he does.
Yeah. So he's talking about
all
sleep.
the
He's talking about sleep in his book, and
Yes.
he's got this book of doctors, and then Dave Sinclair.
The
So it's
man.
all the talk about NAD and DNA repair, longevity.
Yep. Sleep, though, boy.
Sleep.
3 chapters devoted to sleep. It's
So,
awesome.
anyways, I signed up for the diagnostic. Sent me a kit in the mail. The book is Life Force, and they sent me the kit in the mail. It's $300. I'm gonna I just turned 40. I'm still going through this midlife crisis thing, so I need to be healthy. I want to be healthy.
Yeah.
When do you poop in a when do you poop in a box and ship it out?
I did that this morning. It should be coming. Man, I sent it to y'all. Y'all are
You FedExed it?
Yeah, exactly.
So anyways, they came and got the blood.
Yes.
And about a week, I should have some results to let you know if I'm healthy or unhealthy.
They do semen, they do stool, they do.
Oh, dude.
There's something else, right?
She didn't get any of that.
I
from me.
gotta tell y'all about this guy. A friend of mine.
Okay. A friend. Hold on.
He when he was in college, he went to college here at UT.
Oh,
And how he made money was donating sperm.
right.
And they had him actually pose in front of everybody in his skivvies. Exactly. So they were taking pictures. They were like, he's an Adonis. I mean, he's a good looking guy.
A specimen.
He is a specimen.
Gotcha.
And like he said, for 2 years, he was giving samples.
Like once a week?
I didn't ask that, but he for 2 years. Yeah, I think it was
So
at
52
least
samples. So I'm not
monthly.
that strong about
How much you
104.
get paid per sample?
I didn't even ask
Back
that.
then.
Well, the kicker here is he's married and he hasn't told his wife about this. Yeah.
She doesn't know how many
She
little
doesn't.
youngins he has
She has no
running around.
I can see him at a restaurant now. Anytime a kid walks by that's around a certain age, he goes,
Exactly. Like eventually, like at his deathbed, he'll just be staring at a bunch of himself. It's like, oh, this is what it's come to.
So
it even gets worse.
Oh,
So
God.
evidently, this company went out of business.
Uh-oh.
And so, yeah, think about it. All your juices out there, and there's no gatekeeper
where.
anymore.
Yeah.
It's just out there.
So how do you feel about that?
Who, me? What about it? I mean,
I think donating sperm is, why would he be ashamed to tell his wife?
I asked
that
him
okay?
about that.
Yeah.
Well, I asked him about that. He's like, well, I'm just trying to insulate my parents. I don't I think there was probably some judgment around his parents about that.
Like a religious thing.
If you can help somebody be
Thank you.
but I do think that it is an interesting dynamic.
So watch this.
I think
So
that
I'm
there's-
48 years old.
Yeah.
A great friend of mine named Michael Cox. You can look him up on Facebook. This is a great story. He's just an amazing person. I went to high school with him. great singer, by the way, too. And he met his first wife and they fell in love and they had this great story. Well, she became stage 4 cancer within 4 years of their marriage. And she's beautiful. And there was nothing they could do. So he quit his job and they moved off to Montana and I think they traveled, but they went off somewhere and she passed. No one had heard from him for years. This last year, Tracy McIntyre contacted me and was telling me the latest news. Well, he's remarried to a beautiful woman. They had shared the original wife's eggs and they froze them. The new wife had agreed, and I get emotional. Like, this is crazy to me, to have that egg put in her. And Michael just announced, and they tell the story. It's beautiful. I mean, it's beautiful. And I'm like, now she's having the baby that so many judgments, man. Like from like, oh yeah, like how could that, how does he do, how could she, and I'm like, I think that is in the life, like the selflessness of his new wife. Like how beautiful is that?
Yeah,
like
for sure.
To me, that's crazy.
I agree. I mean, and so this is it's so easy to sit on the sidelines and say what things should be.
Right.
I mean, you get it everywhere. And I am just as much at fault as anybody to do this. I call it the I would have double bagged it. Do y'all remember that? I know you probably remember it, but Brett Favre was being a quarterback, or he was being
he actually was a quarterback.
Well, no,
you mean when he went to the Jets and did the pictures and the
well, there was a commercial, and I want to say it was an insurance commercial. Where he would just follow around people and tell them what they did wrong, like as an armchair quarterback. And there this one lady got her groceries out and it fell out.
Yeah. And he said, I would have
double bagged it.
Yeah.
Like, it's so easy to say I would have double bagged it.
Right.
Like, it's, like I'm watching hunting shows because that's what I do.
Right.
And like the way
I thought you were a dentist.
Is easy though. Yeah. Well, I hunt cavities.
Okay.
You watch that. Yeah. I hunt cavities. You in your head, you're like, oh, I could do that.
Succeeds at that.
And hunting's hard. At least I'm just not good at it. That's what it is. But you watch people do this, just like when you're watching golf or watching the Masters. Like it makes you think that you could go out and you can do all these things.
I've played every hole at Augusta.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh yeah.
And in my head.
Yeah, totally. Yeah. So I would have double bagged it.
So
I would have
hit a 7-iron there.
Exactly.
He doesn't hunt or do sports. So it's like watching porn. And if you're looking at that person,
like I said multiple times, I'm 45, 50 days, no porn.
Watching porn. Oh, no porn.
I'm off porn.
Man,
are you really?
I'm off porn.
Cheers, buddy.
Yeah.
Max is like 45 minutes.
Dude, I think that's awesome.
Exactly.
I think it's awesome too.
I had to silence my phone because I have constantly streaming porn on. Yeah.
Well, I'm proud of you, man, because it was becoming a problem.
Well, it can be a problem, and it will present itself as a large problem if you let it get too far. So, I'm only 30, almost. So
okay,
but is there a degree of it which is acceptable?
I think to each their own.
Porn or the issue, because I think porn was fucking with my dick and not letting me use it.
Oh, wow.
That is an issue.
And so I'm like, well, this needs to not be a thing.
Yeah.
So I just don't do the thing.
You gotta be able to use it.
That's my point. It's like, well, I gotta make a change here.
Yeah.
That's pretty. Thanks for being open, Dan.
I don't necessarily think it was the porn, but we need to get you, besides getting your teeth looked at, have you had a checkup?
Testosterone.
I'm not being funny.
I've had no
doctor?
Any kind of medical attention except for when I did this to myself, but no.
For people that wasn't on camera, he does that a lot. That's the problem.
He slapped his forearm.
I jumped a fence to get to work again on time. And still got there. I was gushing. I ended up needing stitches.
All right, hold on.
Anyway,
hold on.
Walked 2 miles to get to
Dan,
work, the whole thing.
Put the camera on you for a second. Promise the audience and me, you're going to go to a doctor. I know some people around here. Oh yeah, we need to get him. He's got to get checked out, man. We need Dan.
Or alternatively,
you could do the thing that he did.
Life Force.
What is that for?
Well, this
Life
was
Force.
So that was what we talked about. They're drawing my blood.
Totally tangented.
They're checking my levels. They're checking my cholesterol. They're checking for metals and supplements and vitamin
testosterone
D and
levels,
testosterone hormone balance, and they're going to check everything from those 6 little vials of blood. I feel wheezy.
They weren't
whiskey.
Oh, I see. They weren't taking it. They weren't putting it in you. They were
No,
taking
no.
your blood.
Yeah.
That's what
I know sometimes you see them come put stuff in me, but this time they were taking it out of me.
Right.
Yes.
Okay.
Yeah. So
Okay,
Oscar comes. Sometimes Oscar comes and loads me
Yeah,
up.
I mean, I was here and Oscar loaded me up.
Yeah.
Right.
Yeah. Yeah. This was taking it away. So Life Force, Tony Robbins' book. The book, speaking of this whole
Was
miracle
he not
of life.
part of the? Did he not pay attention like the
Wasn't
first
paying any
5
fucking
minutes?
attention. Like the whole idea. Think
he's
about
doing
this.
personal development right now. Give him a break.
No, think about this. You can take the eggs from a dead woman's ovaries and
Well, she did it before she died, but yes.
soon to be dead woman's ovaries.
Let's get gentle here.
Take the eggs and you can reimplant them
Yes.
somewhere else.
Yes.
And you can have life come from that.
Yes.
Like the medical technology, that's the whole point of this book, is like the technology in medicine is getting to the point.
Right.
And talking about cancer, speaking about stage 4 cancer, like
Yep.
by the time you find stage 4 cancer, it's too late.
Agree.
And so they're talking now about using AI and tests and scans.
They're doing
that-
the brains.
the brain scans, the body scans, that and with AI to find anomalies before they ever get to the point where they can.
Agree. And so the head's tricky, the brain's tricky. There's nothing you do about plaques and tangles until you're dead. Plaques and tangles are what's inside the brain, dementia, Alzheimer's.
Beta amyloid
But
or something.
now they have, there you go. And now they're actually seeing that some of these newer scans, there's imaging. And when you see them that size, you know there's already imaging.
But there's things you can do. There's going beyond that. You can even find if you have the gene for dementia and Alzheimer's, you know, whatever that gene test is. Well,
24andMe?
Well, yeah. Is it
Just kidding?
It's 23andMe.
I know.
So I've advised my buddy to stay off of those.
Yeah.
You know what? I've never have done it.
Well, the one that kind of, I call him Johnny Appleseed.
What's that?
Oh, that
The
would
guy,
be hilarious.
the guy that propagated his seed for pay.
Were you not
That
paying attention the first 5 minutes?
Yeah.
When he means guy, he means himself. I don't know if you caught that. A friend of mine.
Yes, please.
A friend of mine.
Did you ever donate sperm?
I did. Well,
I thought about it. Then I
You
was
mean-
like,
you
dude,
mean
I
to a
just don't wanna-
hospital?
I just don't want to meet that.
do you mean?
Yeah.
I don't want to.
You mean clinically?
Yeah,
no,
like clinically.
No,
Yeah.
not clinically.
To the sock.
No, I will tell you that when I was in college, a lot of my buddies were making money donating plasma. So I went, dude, this is awesome. I'll go sit down, I'll donate plasma, get the 40 or whatever bucks, and we'd go drink, right? And you get drunker easier. I sat there that first time and I looked around the room. And listen, man, I was just a dumb baseball player. I was on scholarship, but I'm looking around going, why are we doing this? Like, what's the point?
So we were in dental school, and Max, anthrax became a thing.
Yeah, it was right after 9/11.
Yeah, and so Max and some of our classmates were enrolled themselves for like $600. $700.
I had a girlfriend in Chicago at the time, so I had to pay for plane flights.
In an anthrax study, to where you
paid to do that?
No, they got paid.
I got paid to take an anthrax vaccine.
To take an anthrax vaccine or possibly a non-anthrax vaccine,
Right.
And a placebo, and then get exposed to anthrax to determine how
They were
effective it was.
I didn't get exposed because I ended up quitting early because I was worried about the side effects. So I didn't get there's multiple doses within this deal. Yeah, I look back on that, and that might
I
be
like
one
that
of my
Max
dumbest.
is like, he literally looked at Brandon going, oh, you did not.
Yeah, no,
It's
I mean, I
700.
gotta own my shit.
Yeah.
I mean,
So the coolest thing I ever did like
But
that.
thanks.
Sorry. And I think I
No,
told
dude.
this story on the podcast. Dan, if I have, stop me. I'm being serious.
I'm not.
But I
anti-vax.
worked for Budweiser as they brought me in as part of a marketing team, and I got to see all
we
the
did this.
commercials before it was and they paid me.
Oh, dude.
It was the
Dude,
coolest
wait,
gig
you're gonna
ever.
tell us. So we got paid by
Smirnoff.
Smirnoff.
Yeah,
So
Smirnoff vodka.
we lived in San Antonio at the time,
Okay.
and they bussed us to Austin, Texas, 6th Street.
Yep.
And they paid us
to drink
Smirnoff Ice.
They wanted guys. They wanted an image of guys.
So it was like a
drinking
ninja marketing type deal. They
Yep.
wanted manly men to be
really
drinking.
manly men.
Yeah, drinking Smirnoff Ice.
walking around, or you go order it.
You go order
it.
and then actually they would order it for you because we didn't have the credit card.
We didn't have that. So there was,
and we got paid per.
Hey, me and the
Have you
boys
done
are-
this before?
Yeah.
Hey,
I
after a hard day of work, me and the boys like to kick back over here.
I didn't
Get
do it
some
for a
Smirnoff
big,
Ice.
I didn't do it for a big alcohol brand, but I did it for a lemonade brand called Bougie, and they pride themselves on having a drink that you can mix with alcohol. So that's that kind of their whole thing. And so then they took us to Rainy Street. I spent like 4 to 6 hours just hanging out, getting paid to drink.
Yeah.
Hey, what you guys
have
do
my
today?
It was free drinks, and then you get paid on top of it.
I love it. Hey, come join us over here, man. What's your name, Bob? Man, come on over here. Get a nice cold Smirnoff Ice.
Well, so the kicker was every third drink you could get a
Red
red
Stripe.
And so, dude, Red Stripe makes me want to throw up now. Like, I mean,
Red Stripe. I
oh,
love
no,
Red
none
We-
of you,
we
none
liked
of your
it as
drinking.
well, but not
Hold on,
after.
your goal.
It was
Hold
like
on. So
2 Smirnoffs
how
Red
old were
Stripe.
you?
24.
So like your
Yeah,
goal was to
tops.
get to the Red Stripe.
Oh yeah,
Your problem was that Smirnoff Ice.
Yeah, exactly. You'd mash through 2 Smirnoff Ices to get to the Red Stripe. And then, I mean, we went to some bars that nobody was in them.
Yeah.
But we had a list of bars that we were supposed to go
that,
to.
dude. Let me guess. Hammerheads,
No,
hard helmets.
yeah, there was some.
A lot of those bars.
Are they?
Da, 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 da,
Yeah.
da. Okay. I think so. It's so funny how marketing works.
Not that there's anything wrong with that.
So I want to, and I'm being dead serious, kind of how it ties into what we do, right? Marketing, right? And what I do, sales and marketing. It is funny how when you see behind the curtain, like Oz, right? You see the machine, and we've all been part of it, but I guarantee it. We've been in a bar, probably saw a pretty girl drink something, and she goes, "Hey, have you ever tried this?" And I'm like, "Oh, why not?" You know?
Yeah.
And I probably got,
That's how I got hooked onto heroin.
Did you really?
Pretty girl.
Yeah, that's how it usually starts, man.
She didn't have any teeth.
No.
But I mean,
Pimping, same way. They sent you out for one.
exactly.
It's $100. No,
My assistant came up to
so
me the
when
other
people
day.
are listening to this, hoping that they're going to get some
no, they will.
awareness of sleep,
They will.
like
I guarantee
it's
they
that
will.
They have to trod through all this
No.
mess that we throw out in front of them.
There's a little bit of trotting that happens. Some guests more than others.
Yeah.
But there's all interesting.
I try to. I'm probably the
interesting stuff.
ringleader sometimes. Sometimes I take it off, and then
Yeah.
no. But we're in the sleep business. We have a life. We need to talk about our lives. I want to talk about why you haven't shot anything. Have you still, since the last time I talked to you, you haven't shot anything?
So 2 reasons. I'm sure there's more, but I'm a horrible shot,
Okay, that's
and then
honest.
I get target panic pretty bad. So
Up or down, or you freeze.
all over the place. So when I went hunting this last year up in Idaho, I mean, I had an elk in front of me 35 yards away,
And you had
and I like
With a bow.
with a bow. And-
That's
and-
harder.
Oh,
Oh,
yeah,
way
it's very
harder.
difficult. And then, I just rushed everything. Like I didn't even line up. I didn't breathe.
Max gets really excited really fast.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm normally pretty chill, but then
Like-
when there's an exciting,
it's funny because I know you only one way.
His daughters were conceived in like 3 seconds.
We're
well,
back
I'm
to-
also
we're-
married to a Mexican.
So we're back there again.
I mean,
So we're back there again.
The two combined.
We're back there again.
But the funny thing is, in the backyard, he's got his target.
Yeah.
Yep.
And
All day.
Yeah.
He nails
Nailing
it every time.
All the time. Easy.
Yeah.
You maybe just need some better target, like a moving target.
Well, listen, man.
So I
they,
was even running laps and doing burpees before I'd fire to get ready.
You ready for this? I'm about
For
to
that,
blow your
and then-
mind.
and
I know
then-
I have friends who take beta blockers a month before they go hunting. Calms them down. It's illegal. It's a banned substance in
In the hunting world.
The
Archery,
archery,
yeah.
like in
It's
Olympics
banned.
and whatnot.
Yeah.
because it calms you down.
What if
Beta
you
blocker.
have heart issues and you need it for your heart issue?
I'm not on the faculty or the guidelines for the Olympics. I just know it is a banned substance for
Yeah.
archery. And what's the skiing one that they
Oh,
do?
biathlon.
Yeah. and all that. Can't have beta blocker.
Interesting.
But they do. It calms them down, or Xanax.
Yeah.
I'm being dead serious here. Or they smoke,
Yeah.
take a gummy or something, because it relaxes you.
when
Like
you're in
I
the
got
mountains-
excited the first day of turkey. I saw Tom run right by me.
Dude,
went-
I've gone out 3 or 4 times for turkey this year.
Right.
And they're just not showing up to where I'm going.
Well, it's been a unique year.
I heard
went-
you got to call them in.
you do.
Do you have a
But
good
you have
turkey
to-
call?
So, yeah, I mean, I
Show
got
us
a
your
box.
turkey call.
I can't do it with my mouth.
Yeah,
We
we
have
have
a
a
little box
that's what
thing.
we have, a box. Yeah. The little scraper box.
Yeah.
Yeah. That just cracks him up. I love it.
I love-
Dude, I love it.
I love your little box.
So we, so a good friend of mine
Dude,
has.
I'm just
the hot
waiting.
box.
Like, there's going to be one of these podcasts where we talk about the lawsuit that we're currently in because of this guy.
Did you ever see the promo from the episode?
Oh,
that we
yeah.
did,
Yeah,
where you
for
did something to
sure.
a moose. What did you do to a moose?
Yeah.
Something vile to a
Yeah.
moose.
Yeah.
I will say that Brandon's the first person I've ever met in an industry that prides itself on all this. I remember the first time I saw Brandon speak. Like, I get this. Like, we're hanging out, we're dudes. I get our alone time.
Oh, you saw me on stage.
When you're on stage, all dressed up, suit, I mean, it looks good. And I couldn't believe what was coming out of your mouth. And I'm looking at the audience, kind of going the same thing, going, did he just F-bomb? Like,
Oh, dude, both of us have gotten called, taken a task for the amount of F-bombs that we drop.
see, I've seen you and I didn't hear,
Yeah.
I'm being serious.
Yeah, maybe I was holding it in at that point in time.
Well, he just took them all.
Yeah,
Are y'all
exactly.
allowed a certain amount?
Yeah, I don't-
Is
dude,
that what he
I
put you
don't
on?
know. Counter.
Somebody's counting.
So let's talk. I'm excited to talk to both of you guys, because since the last time we did a podcast together, a couple of cool things have really happened that I like sharing good news, right? Like what you said, there's always people that can catch people doing bad. I love what you guys do with iOS. Y'all know I'm a fan. I've had the pleasure to work with a lot of your dentists since we've last met, right?
Yeah.
And I just enjoy the different dynamics of each one. So I'm going to ask just a couple random questions. And I kind of put Brandon on the spot a lot. And Max, I don't you, because I don't know you as well. But it's funny to me that I was able to experience an iOS in office, then a big conference. And it's just like a retreat or anything you go to, you get fired up.
Yeah.
But what I loved, even when I was a youth minister or when I go to retreats, is I like to see how long I can keep that burn.
Yeah.
So strategically, the people y'all asked me to work with and Dane asked me to work with, I wanted to see what they would do. Like, how long would that fire last? And kind of catch them on that, oh, this is hopeless, or I can't do it. It amazes me that the model that you guys have, it's successful. What do y'all think of my just 2 cents throwing it in? Can it work for every personality type? Not every dentist, because I find I have one that, and I won't say names. You know who I'm talking about. I have one that's real passive. I have one that is too aggressive. I have one that, and it's funny because I'm in boots on the ground with them in the field.
Which one's too aggressive?
I don't want to, I'll talk to you off thing. I think because they go into an office and it's
Yeah.
just woo. So I have them ride with me and do a call
so
with me.
the interesting part about that
Is that okay if I ask all
No,
this?
no,
It's okay.
absolutely.
Okay.
So, it's so fun to coach these dentists. And I think that's our challenge when we're working with other people and coaching other people is I also know that, and Ben 10 knows that there's different physicians
I like that.
out there that when we go meet with different physicians, there's different physicians that are going to respond
Sure.
maybe better to Max.
Yeah, he plays
Yeah.
a club.
Or
Like,
better-
he knows,
or
he knows
better
when,
to me.
when
Yeah.
I should be in there.
you know, and so when he meets these doctors or sees their office,
He's like
or
the buffer. Like
he's kind of like, hey, I think this is going to be one for Max.
Okay.
Or maybe this is one for, Dr. Patel, or maybe
Okay.
this is one for Brandon, because just of a person from that personality. And so, regardless of your personality type, all those personality types exist in the medical world too.
Absolutely.
And so when you go and 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 you strike out and you strike out and you strike out and you strike out and you keep going, eventually you run into the doctor that you mesh with.
I love that, by the way. I played baseball, so 3 out of 10, man, you're Hall of Fame.
Yeah.
I'm more like 2 out of 10, maybe lifetime.
Yeah.
But I agree because I can take it.
Coach
like,
bench.
I think maybe that's where.
So we run into with, I'm sorry, the people that they were coaching, as they also have a day job.
Yep.
They're trying to get their business up and running, but they also have a hen house, so to speak, or maybe even a business that they're trying to manage as well. And it's a time management issue, and it's how much, and it's all an investment. How much time are you willing to invest? How much money you're willing to invest? And really, it takes a long time. I mean, the lead time for us to get where we were, it's probably about 3 years.
Yep.
I mean, you know, maybe there was the semblance of something after 12 months, maybe. But like,
I love that story with you guys.
It's a long game.
I agree. It's a marathon.
And so it definitely, there's this requirement of the soul force that you have to bring into it to allow it to happen. And you just got to know that if, you know, there's this, like when you're working out, you go work out for every day or 5 days a week for 3 months. You might feel a little bit better. You're more sore. Your muscles might be tighter, but you can't see shit in the fucking mirror.
Right.
But you do it for 10 years, then all of a sudden, I mean, you're stacking stuff. You're moving weight, you know, and this is the kind of, it's the same thing.
I like that.
There is this, you have to build this foundation, and it takes a long time. And it's not so much who can talk to docs when they're asking for referrals. It's who's willing to build that foundation with just repetition.
Gotcha.
And if you can outsource the repetition, if you got the funds to do it, you know, like that's what we found out is out of the gates, we were like, dude, we need some help selling.
Right.
And so, you know, we were the primaries when it came to going to meetings at first. Right. And eventually we knew we had to outsource some.
I mean, you know how I feel about that. I think every company, every entity has to have a salesperson.
Yeah.
Salesperson. And you pay them a salary for a reason. Now you hold them accountable.
They're good at it.
Yeah, you hold them accountable.
Yeah.
I mean, I'll be honest with you. My current company is the first company I've ever worked at where I didn't make goal. Like I didn't make goal and I didn't get a PIP, a letter. And then the next month you're fired. Like that's how I am in sales. Now we've changed it with this company. I goals and stuff. Because I'm a big believer in that. You got to be able to, stretch out. My point on that though is I just like to see him get that win. Yeah. And I bet that's what y'all are in it for. Like we are saving lives. There's no doubt. But to watch these people that I've worked with,
you got to get a
win.
Yeah.
Just one. It could be a little one, man. And they're and then it ignites. It's like they're back at a conference or a retreat or whatever.
Well, and it's rewarding for the people who stick with it. I've been working with Zoof, Dr. Hadi in Carolinas for 2.5 years now. And man, he came out, he had a couple small wins. He had some things happen with staff, employees, military base, people moving, having to fire people, having to train new people, getting kicked out of a doctor's office, this kind of a thing. And he kind of stuck with it. And he's just like, he was loyal. He did the work, but he wasn't having just the success that I wanted him to have.
Sure.
But he was persistent and he kept going after it. We would talk and, we go to these quarterly meetings. We have some new ideas. We go to these quarterly meetings. There's some new ideas, reinvigoration. I'm going to change this. I'm going to do this differently. And finally he made a couple changes in the last really 4 months. And after 2 years, he's been trying to the point where finally he gets a break.
Yeah.
And all of a sudden he goes from doing 3 or 4 appliances to doing 10 in a month.
Wow.
And like that's the exciting thing.
Oh, yeah.
And then now it's like, okay, well, now how do we maintain that? And then how do we grow from there?
One of the things that I'll share with you both is that being boots on the ground every day, what I do, it's hilarious now. I've said this a million. I've said it a bunch on the podcast, but now there are no CPAPs. So I want to be very clear. What was left, Low T, the big company Low T out of Nashville, bought all the Lunas. So now there's even less.
Those are the Chinese ones?
Yeah. Raw material is still on the West Coast sitting for ResMed. So they're still 5 months out. So that's where I'm working with your guys going, and even Ben going, man, now is the time. Yeah. You don't have to be aggressive, but just, say, hey, rescue therapy has been I love saying that. Rescue therapy.
Oh, he did it.
Proud of you, man.
That was tough.
I mean, he was in the middle of a soliloquy, and then he always wants the attention.
I got distracted. Sorry. Sure. No, but you're right. The CPAPs are like, people are waiting 6 to 8 months.
No, you ready? The average wait time, and this includes the VA, 92 days.
Oh, I believe it.
that includes, so they're going to, but you think about the severe and centrals. I know what we all work on, mild monitor, but if you think about the severe and centrals, that's scary, man. Yeah. And I think the reason I use rescue therapy.
But think about this too.
Oh, go ahead.
Go back to before they even get the CPAP. How long is it taking the average person to even get in and see a sleep doctor? Oh. How long is it taking them to then get scheduled for the test and then get the results from the test? When you add that to the time that it takes to get the CPAP, you're looking at.
So watch this. I think this is what I'm going to announce today. I think I've actually cracked the code. So tell me if this impresses you guys. What if I told you that I have a company that is in 14 states, sleep doctor in each one of them. I have them an HST to that patient covered on insurance and done within a 5-day period. They're already being referred to a dentist. Would you believe me? 5 days is average time. And so far I've done it all of 6 weeks. And the referrals have been upwards craziness. I'm upward to like 80 something now.
Yeah. Telemedicine.
Yes.
Okay. And the home testing units are shipped.
Yep.
And the results are back within 5 days.
Yep. So this was another quiver, right? So even if you already outsource, all you dentists who watch this, even if you already have a good system, why not have something else that's bringing in business?
Yeah.
So what's the catch, right? Everybody says, what's the catch? Well, this company came to me begging for help because there's no CPAPs.
Yeah.
And what they used to do, they used to make a lot of money. They're a DME and also this company name. It's so interesting that now they're reaching out to the ProSomnuses of the world, of the Somnameds, of all that going, we need help. Like, is there any way legally, ethically you can help us? I'm like, yeah, absolutely. If they get a score of a 30 AHI or below, you can send them directly to this dentist A, this dentist B, right? By this zip code. We've even got it formalized and we'll have it out by AADSM by the time this comes out. It'll already be out. Where I'm going to do a presentation.
No, I won't be able to make it.
It's okay. I'm doing a presentation on it to show like the turnaround time, because you're right. The stickiness was one of the things in this year and a half I was trying to figure out was that I work with amazing dentists. I have a 15 of them that I work with, and they're just amazing dentists. And I work with these doctors, but the whole sticking point, I don't know if you remember me telling you, is like, how can we keep them in this where they first see a doctor, they stay there, because even before there was a CPAP issue and there was COVID, but even before that, it would say, take off work to go see your doctor.
Well, before that, they were offering a treatment that only 30% of people actually fall
Thank you.
With.
I wasn't even going to go there. That's how I came to this company.
Well, what are we seeing now? And I don't know the answer to this, and this may be, with people not able to get CPAPs, a lot of the insurance plans and Medicare included still require for severe, they still require CPAP trial.
I mean, can't they rent it at a DME?
But they can't get it. DMEs don't have it.
But I know, do they not have like a stock?
No.
So
I can answer that too. So a big group, I'm being careful how I say names, but I'm talking about a big hospital group in Houston, Texas came to me. So how are we figuring out how to do it ethically? Is that whenever they go do a sleep study in lab, whenever they score mild, moderate, they get referred to a sleep dentist, then that they get on the device and then they go do another sleep study in-house with the nasal cannula and all that. So that way this big system is still getting something instead of zilch. They were averaging 6,000 CPAPs, whether it be resupply or not, patients a month is what they're used to. Okay. 6,000. Okay. That's a big system.
That's a huge number.
Yeah. It's a big system. Big system. And if you think about how long they've been doing CPAP, it's resupply, right?
Yeah.
So I'm counting that too, right? Imagine that being cut. And so what does that do to a whole system? You realize, oh my gosh, now, of course they look at it financially.
They had a DME as part of their system.
Oh yeah,
too,
it's in the
I'm
hospital.
Sure, right?
Yeah. So of course they look at financial. No doubt. And I'd be stupid if I didn't recognize that.
I mean,
but
that's
then
the
you
only
realize
way. You got to grease the wheels, brother.
But then you look at it this way. Where are all these patients going now?
Yeah.
So introducing them to oral devices has been such fun. And going, well, here it is. Just go down a little further where it says an oral device.
Dude, you go down to the patient at the end. I have grandmothers that have an AHI of 5, and then they're wanting. They've been on CPAP. The recall took them out of the game. And I'm kind of wondering, why the hell were they on CPAP anyway? They only had an AHI-5, but they were complaining about.
Can I honestly answer that?
Yeah, please.
I was part of the problem with DMEs and just what I used to do is sell CPAPs, and I'll own it right now. The more people I got on CPAPs,
Of
whether they
course.
stay compliant,
I get
it can be put up, but they're still getting billed every month for resupply.
Yeah, well, and if we're jumping on grenades here, on the dental side of things, we weren't spick and span like we are now. I mean, dentists just got in the game and tried to give people devices. They weren't doing a whole lot of follow up. There was a whole lot of side effects that were going on. Hell, I mean, even 5 years ago, we were still seeing a whole lot of bite change and everything going on. You want to take a time out and maybe edit this and see what's going on?
Yeah.
There's a lot of work happening back there.
Yeah.
There was even knock-in.
Yeah, that's what I heard too. Yeah. So, but no, we can keep going. It's cool.
Yeah.
But no, I haven't got it figured. It's not like I have the answer, but
Do we do one of these?
There you go.
Damn. We need one. Can we?
I
get
like
one
when
of
they
those?
go.
Might help
My
out
favorite
the-
thing is when they go 5, 4, 3.
And they.
It's always on the 2 and the 1, and of course I messed
It
that
was
up.
on
It's the bourbon.
Wayne's World.
Yes,
earlier.
yeah.
Yeah.
Stop nodding your heads. Okay. So I haven't got it totally figured out, but this is the sample size of what I'm seeing, what all should be, what I see coming down the pike. I really do. I really.
Well, dude, there's a lot of players getting in the game now.
Oh, it's
both from provider standpoint as well as DME standpoint.
dude, a national
as well
DME
as-
met with us.
Yeah.
National DME met with us. And we're like, we can't do temporary, and we can do 485.
Yeah.
Sure, you can do that all day long.
And they're
roll
starting to
bike.
build under this new K code.
Yep.
I
And
mean,
that K code came January 1.
So, we threw kind of a warning balloon or a test balloon out on that one. We still haven't gotten paid on it. So I'm
Really?
interested to see what
Mom
goes on
wants to
with
say
that.
hi.
Okay, cool.
So is that why you were making all that racket, Mom?
Sorry.
Hello.
I'm messing with you.
I didn't know.
She didn't know we had
it.
It's good to see you.
Sorry.
Hey, how you doing? Good.
Hey.
Yeah. So sorry. We were looking for
Thanks.
scotch tape.
Thanks for the.
Do we have
peanut butter
scotch
things.
tape in here?
Mm.
I like it. It's like you're a teenager again. Mom!
Come on, Mom.
Mom, meatloaf.
Okay.
Good to see you.
Yeah, it's good to see you.
Oh, great, man. You're so good at quotes, dude. That was great.
Okay.
Bye,
Quietly.
guys. Man,
Yeah.
your mom and stepdad were
Man.
what, making out on the couch when you walked out there?
Was that all the racket that we heard?
Mhm.
Yeah, they were looking for scotch tape, apparently.
Yeah.
Code word. Code word. No, so going back to it's just
Sorry.
how do we
And then she goes, "Oh, it's just Max."
yeah.
but how do we empower the dentists that you're working with, right, to even jump on this, more? Like it's
Well, it's and I'm sorry I left, so I don't know what the fuck we're talking about. But,
just more providers willing to help their patients.
dude, it's crazy.
well, you have
right
to make it
now.
easier for them to do so. It's easy. Like this is the funniest thing about sleep medicine, dental sleep medicine. It's the easiest procedure we do.
Yeah.
It's literally, it's easier than a filling. It's easier than a sealant. It's easier than a crown. It's easier than cosmetic dentistry. It's easier than doing a cleaning. It's like, it's the easiest technically
Right.
procedure that we do. It's the hardest procedure that we do
from a business standpoint.
to get reimbursed for.
Yep.
To get referrals for.
Yep.
To get patients to understand, to get buy-in from the medical
That's
industry.
why it's a numbers game.
And that kind of thing. It is. And so because it's so hard, because medical insurance.
Can you clear your throat, please?
Is it?
It's like popcorn lung over here.
You don't like the graveliness? I'm reading that Tony Robbins book, so I was just going for gravelly. Tony Robbins.
No, you went for
Gravelly.
Flemmy, the other dwarf.
It's made it this process, and it's getting better
Yes.
with telemedicine and some of these things, but the process is still so cumbersome. And I don't care how fast you can get me an appliance. The average insurance company
I'm not disagreeing with you there.
takes 3.5 weeks to pre-authorize.
So watch this.
An extra 2 weeks to get gap.
So I thought that's what y'all were going to ask me about, right?
Was it supposed to?
So it's a numbers game.
Yeah.
So when they go, well, I don't know if I'll get, is it pre-authorized? Is it authorized? It's a numbers game. Quantity.
Yeah.
So
Well,
I'm willing
so-
to take a chance on getting a patient treated. I'll make sure my device is a lower cost for this
Yep.
situation because I want to get the treated.
But are you willing to risk that? And someone like us that does 100 appliances a month,
at least.
are you willing to risk that
Wait, how many do you
maybe
do?
50 of those don't get paid for because they don't get pre-authorized in time? And then I'm coming to you saying, hey, I need 50 appliances
Right.
free.
So here's the
Because
thing.
we still got to pay the lab bill for that.
I agree.
Right?
I agree. So the internet. Well, I told you this
I
is
didn't
something.
know this was going to be a on the firing line.
No, I love Fire and Line.
Yeah.
No, that's
Yeah.
where I live. So what I do right now with this, and I how I even set this up is I'm testing it out to see
Yeah.
how it works. Testing it out, it means that not only this month the referrals, I need to see how they paid out. So
Yeah.
part of that.
Yeah.
But yes, I put my butt on the line
Yeah.
and said, listen, man, let's get these costs way down.
I mean, if
Because I believe, and this is just what I believe. You know where I got kind of the idea was from you, Bub. And
Yeah.
what y'all, actually you were the first person that brought up what IAOS does. And I love what y'all do is, and I always say the name wrong, but basically you say, Matt, sell us a device at this much. We're going to put it out there and help people help them breathe.
Yeah.
Y'all call it, I always say it wrong. I think it's Save Our Cities. But
Sleep Saves Lives. That's our annual day
Save
giver.
Our
So we
Cities,
have
that too.
we have one day where we are trying
this
to
is awesome, by the way.
donate our time and have manufacturers on board with donating devices for patients who can't afford it, patients who really don't have the insurance, they don't have the money, they don't have the funds, but they need the appliance.
So I'm working with dentists. So I took that a step further and went, okay, one of the biggest complaints I get from dentists is, well, we don't have managed care. We don't take insurance. We don't do this. We don't do this. Well, of course, I just told you the HST part's covered. You know, that's billed through the doctor and all that. But that I said, can we agree on a flat rate? And then I'll sell you this device at this. And that way, at least anyone that comes from this system,
securing margin.
yeah.
Well, we can do that, but I can also tell you that system doesn't want that. That system wants the patients because the patients are still the case acceptance from patients. Understanding that there's a percentage of the patients that come in that's 20%, 25%. They want it, they need it, they understand it, they see the benefits, and
There's not anybody that argues. I mean, there's like 5% that argue
Yeah.
that I don't think I have sleep apnea.
Yep. They'll pay
But I
for it.
mean-
They'll pay cash. They're ready to pay cash. They don't care. You know, a guy yesterday, he's like, we have lots of money. I just want whatever you think is
Right.
I need. I don't care about insurance. But then there's that other 75% that are like, I want it, I need it. But at what's probably maybe 50%, they're like, I want it and I need it, but I'm only getting it if insurance covers it.
Yeah.
Right.
And if it doesn't cover it, I'm just simply not, I'm going to live without
God,
it.
what percentage you say? And y'all been doing this. I trust
It's
it. I'm just curious.
So the only reason people don't move forward is because of insurance.
Wow.
It's the out of pocket, like whatever the out of pocket is. And what's funny is sometimes even the out of pocket will be kind of close to what their your out of pocket, the deductible will be kind of close to what our cash fee would be. But if insurance doesn't even act like they're going to pay, like they won't move forward. What we're dealing with is a
that's good.
psyop that
Yeah.
big insurance. Sorry, you got Alex Jones on the line here.
Yeah.
But no, this is something we have all been conditioned to think that
Lizard
the
people.
the only way we can move forward is with insurance. Like, it's insane that we pay these individuals or these corporations monthly
Oh, it's-
while we're good, while we're healthy,
Oh, dude.
until we're bad, and then they don't pay.
and they change. It's
Yeah.
like
and then they
playing.
change it to the shell game, and
It's
they're
like
always
playing.
gonna,
It's like playing games with my brother when I was growing up. He changed the rules. Like right when I figured
100%.
change the rules. Trust me.
You know what I
just-
wonder too? Like just knowing how many COVID tests I had in the last 2 years and how many of those tests, like insurance is recovering COVID tests like crazy.
Oh yeah.
Like,
I mean, there's
how-
COVID testing sites.
how much does insurance companies lose due to paying for COVID testing, and what's the repercussions is that going to
Wait,
be? On
when you
no,
say
the
lose,
government
they're-
subsidy.
they're
There's
not.
government subsidies.
government subsidies insurance companies?
Oh
Yes.
yeah.
Oh, yeah.
There's no
Okay.
loss.
Dude, that's where the incentive
yeah.
was,
Okay.
dude.
Yeah.
That's why
Yeah.
they pumped it out, man.
Yeah.
That's why they were
Yeah,
free.
because I had a lot of COVID tests.
Yeah, well, you're dirty.
Yeah, well, yeah, I lick a lot of things.
Yeah, she is a liquor.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right now, having these two is the best
Yeah.
because you said that you always say that's your better half.
So I always go back
Partner
to
life.
when I'm talking to my patients, this is the lowest hanging fruit of health.
I know.
We all got to sleep,
I know.
and we all do it.
We got to breathe.
Like even if you suck at sleep,
Yep.
you're gonna
You're going to do it anyway.
You're gonna do it anyway. So why not we make it the most efficient way, and then you start doing the other building blocks like eating or exercise or whatever it might be. Like it blows me away that I have to talk my patients into trying to make their sleep most efficient. And what's standing between me and my patient is that's
crazy.
That bar of insurance. I mean, at this point in time, they're incentivizing disease as opposed to health.
I agree.
And it's fundamentally wrong, unethical, and just sad.
I agree.
Like if you're, if there's a whole lot of existential crises going on right now, and the only way that we're going to get over this shit is if we take care of ourselves mentally and physically. That's it. All the anxiety that we dealt with COVID, all the anxiety we're dealing with Ukraine bullshit, like the only way you rise above that is if you feel confident in your own skin, and you cannot do that if you don't sleep well.
I agree.
And there's a for-profit industry that's trying to prevent you from feeling that way. Like, because they make money on the edges.
Right.
They make money on that margin of sickness, dude. It fucking kills me. And we're trying to grease the wheels as much as we can so we can help these individuals get back to their normal, fundamental biologic rhythms. And we're running into walls left and right. And what's beautiful about this whole thing is it gives us a reason to play the fucking game.
I agree.
Like, that's why we're in it. If it was easy, we'd be we'd be dietitians and health coaches.
That goes back.
That's the thing.
We like dietitians.
We do. I love them to death.
We've had them on our podcast.
Yeah.
I think so. And you know me.
Wasn't Courtney a dietitian before she was no?
Yeah, she is. I'm very proud of Courtney.
I'm super proud of Courtney.
I like it when she shows us her bodybuilding pictures.
Yeah.
Can I see?
Courtney,
Are
I
there
didn't save it. I was worried about that because
yeah.
I'm married.
yeah.
are there cases of people
Shout out Courtney.
getting
Gross coffee.
treatment
Hold on.
from you
Will
guys?
you hand me the Dan on a stick, please? Go ahead, Dan. What'd you say, Bob?
Are there cases of people getting treatment from you guys who meet a certain level where they don't have to use the device or the appliance, whatever the preferred word is?
So that's uncommon, and the reason is because this is a anatomical situation where, regardless of what they do, the device essentially is it only works while you're wearing it, so it unkinks the hose.
It changes the structure. So essentially, sleep apnea, it's a kind of a three-pronged issue. We're dealing either with structure of the body that's given to us by our genetics. We're dealing with inflammation, which kind of makes the pipe that we breathe through smaller, or we're dealing with musculature fatigue, which also allows the pipe to close a little bit quicker or easier. And so none of those things are easily taken care of or cured. Right. And so right now it's just like diabetes. There is no cure for this thing. There's only management of it. Now, if you get surgery, supposedly the Max Man surgery is actually 98% effective according to literature.
Well,
but we're talking about
Max Man surgery is very effective.
Yeah, but you're talking
50 grand and then you're cracking faces.
Yeah.
But as someone who I was married to Kelly, who had, the whole chin implant, all that, I'm a fan. I think it's necessary for centrals and severe. For basic OSA, hell no.
Well, and
I think
so
it's a lot.
Yeah, it's a whole lot. I mean,
but what I have seen, Dan, is a lot of the patients that we treat that are off maybe one or two of their blood pressure medications. They're not taking as much metformin. Their diabetes is better controlled.
Or like you, they have issues with their penis.
Yep.
Once they start breathing,
Blue Chew, we need
rock
Blue Chew.
hard.
So once somebody gets treated or prescribed these services, is there like a path for them to stop using that at all?
No.
Or it's just like
Unfortunately,
once you're diagnosed, this is what you have to deal with the rest of your life?
This is the rest of your life.
So
there's nothing that we
surgery.
can do.
No,
to,
not true. Hold on. There is.
You could lose weight and it might take you off.
So
but
I could speak to this, right? I had a big old beard, was part of the issue. I was heavier, really big issue. I was unhealthy. I loved my CPAP, but I was relying on it because I would go, well, that and helps me breathe at night. And it does. It helped me good. I don't have to wear a CPAP anymore. I don't. When I have a few drinks and stuff, it'd be nice to have, just hook up and help me sleep. I have an Avant that I wear. Do I wear it every night? I don't. But I don't have OSA. I used to have it. So that's what we're talking about. Now, when you're talking past mild, moderate, severe, over age, I have 30. Okay. If you're anywhere in that area, y'all would know this better than I, a very small percentage of people, what Max was saying, that are so motivated to go, I need to lose weight and start working out and watch what I eat and make sure I do. They just won't. They'll be reliant. That's the good and bad on a CPAP or an oral device.
But we're also talking about, so 30-something% of the people that have sleep apnea don't fit that prototypical type of person that needs to lose weight. I mean, we're talking skinny people, marathon runners, small people.
My ex-wife was a good example.
So this is, I believe that what happened was the gradual de-evolution of the human lower face that allowed for sleep apnea to become a disease. Then individuals started getting fat because of sleep apnea. And that's why we started associating sleep apnea with weight. Yeah. I believe we backed into this.
So you're telling me from profile, so I can help our people who watch the podcast, you're saying that just through genetics, evolution.
I'm claiming, well, I would call it de-evolution. But either way, it's evolution. I think because of our food supply, what has happened is because we've now domesticated everything and made it more palatable and more masticatable, we're now all of a sudden starting to see over the past 100 or 1,000 to 500 years, archaeologically, we've started seeing a reduction in lower face form.
Well, and we watched the same. I think I know where you're going.
No more wisdom teeth. Wisdom teeth have no place in today's society.
It's crazy.
We're also taking away by premolars. Now, this isn't because there's too much teeth. It's because there's not enough jaw.
Yep.
Yeah. And so because there's not enough jaw, we don't have enough room to breathe through anymore. So now all of a sudden we get fat, we lose our testosterone along with the plastics that we're throwing into our life. And now we're getting fat, those of us that are predisposed.
We read and watch the same thing. So about the taint size too.
Phthalates. Phthalates. I mean, it's all the same shit.
I agree.
What's happening is we're turning to the stereotypical green or gray alien, like the one with a little slit in a mouth. And we're having
if Dan shaved his beard, it's hilarious.
Yeah. He's an alien.
Yeah. There's no chin there. His taint's this long. It's crazy. And he's got a tail.
I should measure my taint.
I got a hell of a taint.
Let's do it on.
I'll do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Grab a ruler. Let's measure my taint. I'll do that. Let's do that for the Patreon.
Can we do it?
$20 a month. Will you get the content of me measuring my taint?
Hold on.
I'll do it. I don't give a shit.
We do call him Handsome Dan.
You know what?
Can I hold the ruler?
If you want to make some R-X-rated shit,
do I have to
on.
get him hard before we measure it?
we have an experienced fluffer with us today.
I think that's not quite the taint, is it?
Yeah, he goes, where are you measuring from? Well, I'm measuring from the base. No, you're not. Okay. I think, so I'm with you. And I can't believe it's controversial. It really is when we talk about this. But for guys who look in mouths every day, not you, Brandon, for guys who look in mouths every day, to what you just said is so important. When I was a kid, everybody got their wisdom teeth taken out. Everybody did.
Well, here's the deal. 100 years ago, they didn't.
Yeah.
200, 300, 1,000 years ago, if you look at skulls from a few hundred to a few thousand years ago, you don't see malocclusion.
No.
You don't see crooked teeth. You don't see.
Even now in Aboriginal tribes in either Africa or even Australia, I mean, if you picture that in your head, you see a broad, wide smile,
broad teeth,
beautiful teeth,
arch,
no ortho,
large orth, no braces needed.
No, these are individuals that have never even seen a dentist. They don't even have any decay.
It's because they eat rocks. Yeah. So when you have a baby, you think about it now, what happens? You have your baby and you breastfeed till they're 4, 5, 6 months old. Then you start feeding them cereal, rice cereal, oatmeal cereal, or whatever type, porridge.
There's a plastic nipple.
Or there's a plastic nipple. You get the bottle with the formula.
if I have two, what I really want to do with life is I want to make sure that everybody gets tested, sleep tested, just as ubiquitous as blood panels. And then I really think everybody needs to suck on titties.
Yeah.
Like I think sucking on titties is like would save humanity.
Well, because that
Sure.
develops palate.
Another shirt.
And then when you stop sucking on titties, you want to eat, you want to put hard things in your mouth.
Yeah.
So you want carrots, you want cucumbers, you want
Yeah.
peppers, you want, so like I told my brother, like with my nephew Wyatt, and he's got some cheeks like fucking out to here. I was like give him a little baby food, but have him chewing on bell peppers,
Yeah.
chewing on, that motion of chewing on, anything other than baby
Gnaw.
food that's spooning. Yeah.
Dude, you
gnawing
ain't
on
gnaw.
stuff. Go back to the hamster in the cage. You got to gnaw on shit,
Yeah.
I've never gnawed on a hamster. What are you talking about?
And you should try it. You've done other things.
Are we
with
talking about
hamsters.
Richard Gere here?
So,
It's a gerbil.
Oh,
gerbil.
my bad.
Because
claws.
that helps with development and that helps with airway, so that goes back to, so in answer to your question is theoretically, you're not going to fix it unless you surgically change.
You're not going to fix
your
it.
structure,
You're not going to fix it until if we can't go back 1,000 years.
Well,
Like this is a new normal which is benefits us in our industry, but it fundamentally changes the way humans. So you take sleep apnea, now all of a sudden we're predisposed to having sympathetic overload, which essentially means we're going to be stressed out a little bit more than we probably should be. Because now all of a sudden every night, or at least 30% of the human population now chokes themselves every single night. So you wake up after you've been choking
after
yourself.
they're sleeping.
After you're sleeping.
Yeah.
While you're sleeping.
Well, he does it before he goes to sleep.
That's the NXS guy and David Carradine, the Kung Fu guy.
Yeah.
Okay.
But either way, so now all night when you're supposed to be in this parasympathetic mode where you're actually resting, digesting, and in a peaceful state, you've been battling yourself from preventing yourself from breathing. Now all of a sudden you wake up, you're already primed, and so anything that kind of maybe sets you off, you all of a sudden pop off to it because you're already predisposed to having that edge, because you're trying to defend yourself. So we're already in that sympathetic state. We take that throughout the day. Now we're yelling at our friends, we're yelling at our kids, we're yelling at people when we're driving. So just society naturally is all of a sudden being more edgy, just like you're living in New York City and everybody's on top of you. Like there's just too much going on. And so what we need to do as an industry is we need to try to get people back and get people in a relaxed state. And because we're battling against evolution.
Yeah.
And we're battling against the societal bend towards hyper-palatable, hyper-masticatable, very good-looking food.
do you think there's a world where we start
In a world.
making that more aware? Like, make your children start eating in a certain way to give them these.
Yes.
I think there's a
more developed jaws
fundamental.
so that
I think there's a fundamental
that issue
undercurrent,
off.
but I think the wheels of society are so strong that there's always just going to be a baseline, like the hippie population that will actually pay attention to that shit.
Yeah.
Well, and it's also because the number one thing, especially in the modern world, that we care about more than anything,
It's ease,
convenience.
convenience,
Right.
and ease.
Right.
Right.
And so it's easy to grab the Go-Gurt in the pouch. It's easy to grab the applesauce in the pouch. It's easy to
Because mom
you
has
know,
to work.
because mom has to work.
We got to pay our
boy.
mortgage.
We got into a conversation about masculinity earlier.
Oh no,
Yeah.
You would have
Well,
loved it.
I remember that book you gave me.
which one?
What was the name of that book?
There's
Talk about embracing roles as
Superior-
as opposed to being in this world where it's like
the way
roles
of
are
the superior,
roles
the way
are
of the
bad.
superior man is
Yeah.
kind of the one.
Yeah.
like,
And by the way, that
David
I
Data.
think there was a lot of quotes from that
Yeah.
that he was
Yeah.
using. But I think stay on sleep, guys. I think what you just said, Max. I would say that outside of us nerds who are into this stuff and research, no one knows this stuff.
no, well,
There's no way you're
in-
having a
'cause,
conversation with somebody who says, "Well, I can't afford that."
There's too much money being
Okay.
made for me to have
So-
you eat your Go-Gurt.
so,
There's too much
yeah.
money being made for me to you
So
go eat your.
what do we do? So what's the role here? Is this the
we
decision?
treat it. We treat the fuck out of it.
No, we treat the fuck out of it. We're going to continue to treat the fuck out of it. But if we want to, if we want to go back to the babies, I know you're not having any more babies, but
Are you? What is this supposed to
No,
be?
no.
Snap, snap, snap.
You can. It's called the vaso.
but if you were to
That's the
have
other way.
yeah,
a reverse of as,
no, it's called vasovasectomy.
so do we get pediatricians telling parents don't use baby food? Do we get
That ain't gonna happen.
do we get rid of the baby food industry?
Is it
Yeah,
Gerber
that-
like?
like Gerber,
is it
yeah,
Gerber
like
Well, Gerber's
it's just-
Johnson and Johnson.
Do we get do we
I
do
mean-
or do we go on the other side, which I don't like, which is, does the government
Oh, don't
take that
even.
over and mandate,
No,
or does the
no,
government get rid of
no,
baby
no.
food
Do you,
industry?
do you think there's
Or-
a product that could be created that could help children, like a
yeah, rocks?
Yeah.
Well,
Well,
no,
no,
he's
so there,
being dead
so there
serious.
there actually is a gum that's hard that
Yep.
that can develop a jawline that will actually probably strengthen your oral musculature. It's chewing. It's basically chewing.
Every time I
rocks.
hear you say that, I think of Takei saying musculature.
musculature.
I love Takei. No, I think no. There actually is products out there right now. I was actually in a.
Because
they're still-
are they
because
for
I can tell
children
you
or
my
No, for adults,
they're
too.
still-
Because I can
and
tell you my
and the issue is
pediatrician.
you can't grow bone. It's very difficult to grow bone past it's for males maybe 21, for
Females,
females
it's-
traditionally like 14.
Yeah.
And I would go back to even probably by the age 8, you're destined for what
Yeah.
you're destined for.
Which that was my point. Like, is there a product that could be created that's not a what are they called? The thing you stick in the baby's mouth when they're crying.
A pacifier.
I was thinking the Mexican word mamon. Anyway,
Yeah.
Mamon.
is there like something that you could give them to help them mitigate these
Foods.
issues in their
That's what you just
Hard
said.
foods.
Yes, yeah.
It's just
Carrots.
hard.
You thought he was being
Carrots.
funny.
But I'm thinking about
Carrots.
easiness. Like you said, that it's
So
not
you-
easy
so
to make
every-
them not by the go-gurt. Like,
So
buy a product that
everybody
they
should
can
eat
chew on.
either horse meat or wild game,
That a boy.
and then they should also eat carrots, broccoli, like Brussels sprouts,
Zucchini,
and they should suck on
cucumbers,
titties.
and they should
So
breastfeed,
breastfeed
until they're
like
2.
2 or 3.
I thought the issue was chewing. It's not.
It's all of it. So
Well-
if you can imagine when you're sucking on a tit, what's happening is you're pneumatizing all of
It's
your
been a while for
sinuses.
him.
And then you're drawing. It's such a developmentally difficult
Come here and show
thing
him.
to
Come
have.
here.
Yeah, whose nipple am I going to suck here? Yeah.
That ain't the first time you said that.
Just pretend this is a tit.
You know what? That isn't the first time you walked into a room. Whose nipple am I going to suck? You know what I love about you, Max, and I need to spend more time with you. You got both sides of it that I get. Maybe that's why I want to spend more time with you, because like to have those conversations though, it's so funny. I speak to a lot of doctors. Obviously, I work with dentists, and when you try to have these conversations like this, it's the glassed over look. They don't ask questions like Dan, like it. And I'm like, are you still reading stuff? Like, do you not get new, and I'm hoping you guys do that, right? With your iOS, send them the newest studies, so there's the newest thing
Barry
out.
Glassman. Shout out to Barry Glassman.
Yeah, Barry
yeah.
reads everything and anything.
Good.
And is very
he's a
happy and
legend.
quick to opine
Yeah.
on what he agrees with or
is.
doesn't agree with.
But I think that
Should have Barry on the podcast.
you know what, Brandon? I'm going to go back to what you said. I
That'd be
think that
interesting.
this is just my opinion. I think that people look at sleep medicine a lot like you
Have
talked
an
about.
F-bomb counter.
How dentists look at laying out their offices. I still think people think sleep like that, meaning that they have their
It's a
own
dental
idea.
procedure.
Yeah. Well, no, meaning that it's sleep in general. So sleep doctors, regular physicians, dentists, I still think they go, oh, it's not this, it's that. No one, besides you and the stuff I read, I've not heard one dentist talk about the stuff you just talked about.
Well, it's out there, and it's
It's so true.
there's a book called Jaws,
Jaws.
by Sandra Kahn, and it's a
What do you guys
Nestor,
really shout out?
Nestor goes over this in Breathe too.
and Nestor goes over it and breathes.
Nestor's the-
Yeah,
I gotta have him. on
and
there.
so
Gotta have him
that's
game changer.
the information is there.
Yeah.
The question is whether or not people are receiving it, accepting it, or fucking doing anything about it. I had 2 kids. I didn't have 2 kids.
Yes, you
Yeah,
did.
I never say we.
Yeah.
When we say, hey, no offense, guys, if
Okay.
you say this, but when you say we were pregnant,
Yeah.
no.
Yeah.
No. We donated sperm.
I have
we
2
donated
kids.
sperm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I did participate as
You helped one-
horrible
you
as a
helped
father as people might tell you I am now. I did participate quite a bit.
Kind of one. The other you don't really remember. You
Yeah.
shared that story.
Quite a bit up until the point where they were born. I was actually there when they were born.
Good for
And
you.
And then
He's a good dad.
pediatric visits afterwards throughout the first year, second year, third year, and even up until now, where my son thinks he's too big for the pediatric dentist now. He's like, hey, Dad, I think I need or not dentist, doctor. I think I need a doctor for kind of bigger kids now.
Nothing wrong with that.
The teen doctor.
Okay, let's look for that.
Hey,
So,
you tell him.
anyway.
You tell him Uncle Matt saw Dr. Dammy Amy till I was 23 years old.
Yeah.
He was
Jax
awesome.
is on a 4-game hitting streak, by the way.
believe it.
Yeah.
He's
I love it.
He's also on a 4-game getting chewed out by the coach streak as well.
How about a 4-game having to do
He was
burpees for dad?
erasing the lineup in the dugout and changing it.
Hey, he's his dad's son.
Hey, you don't want to
That's
don't
what
mess
you
with the
would do.
lineup, son. So,
Kinda-
but I never once was there a discussion about what to do with the baby in terms of, it was like, it's like a political decision. Do you want to breastfeed or not breastfeed?
Yeah.
Or sometimes, in my case, there was just it couldn't happen.
Or if it doesn't happen, it doesn't happen.
Well,
but even
Because
before
that's
that,
supposedly that's very stressful for females. Like
Yeah.
I could understand it.
And it
I
was
sympathize.
to go through that. It was life because Kelly doesn't mind me talking about her.
But, if you
she
look
really
at,
tried and
if
tried.
you look,
and
but
tried
if
and
you
tried.
look at Aboriginal or hunter gatherer tribes, they had wet nurses.
Yep, they sure did.
Like because
Like Selma Hayek.
there was no such thing as bottled milk.
no.
So it was still happening.
Yeah.
Now I'm not suggesting that if I need to interview wet nurses, I could new job, sign it up. Yeah.
You know what? They exist.
Yeah,
They
I don't
really
doubt
do.
it. But
So again, there's a book out there. I don't know if y'all remember this about 10 years ago. Selma Hayek got lambasted on social media because she was breastfeeding a kid. Well, it wasn't her kid, but she had milk, and she's like, "I'm gonna,
I got it. I'm using it.
man." And I was like, "I want to be."
have y'all
that
ever
kid.
tried breast milk?
Yes.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, it's pretty kind of tasty.
Eh,
Yeah, like
Can
the
you
juice.
describe the notes?
It was I mean,
A little coffee on the nose with a creamy
it was kinda-
finish.
It was like sweet.
Yeah.
It was just kind of a
It's
sweet,
got a
watery milk.
It's got a sweetness to it. I'm all for adding it like when you're baking. I've definitely
There was
Protein
one time,
muffins?
I've definitely
Man, my wife pumped a lot.
Oh, yeah.
and she saved a whole lot. And one
Oh,
time,
frozen,
and
in the freezer.
in the freezer, and we had a chest freezer.
I knew you were gonna.
And I went and I got some because I have a lot of game meat that I
Attaboy.
keep in the freezer as
Yeah.
well.
Attaboy.
And I went and got a bunch of ground venison or whatever it was. And I forgot to close the
Oh
and
no.
for 24 hours, and all this milk ended up
defrosted.
defrosting. And so I just went in there because of how much work that she did. I went in there and just closed the lid.
You did not. You did not say that on camera. You did not just say.
For probably about 3 weeks.
And again, to his kids,
So
this is
three weeks.
And both of his kids are fine.
3 weeks, she would be like, "Smell this. Does this smell off?" And I'd be like, "Yeah, it smells fine to me."
Smells great,
Yes,
honey.
I don't know.
And
Yeah, it smells a little
Kieran's fine.
Yeah,
She's like, it kind of smells like
And then-
deer
so
meat.
I probably about a year and a half ago. So both my girls, one girl is 9 and the other girl is 5.
Do you remember their names?
Yeah, Kieran and Corey.
Okay, you said the other girl.
Yeah, well, I just a year and a half ago, I told her that I did this.
Oh boy.
How did she react?
Yeah.
She laughed.
Oh,
She was a
man.
little upset,
Yeah.
but I mean, I knew the
Did
buffer.
she kind of
was-
see if you were checking? Like,
Yeah.
yeah, exactly.
It's kind of like when you see someone trip, the first reaction is,
oh, yeah.
Oh.
You good?
Yeah,
Yeah.
exactly.
I saw there was those scooters that people ride through downtown now that I hate.
I've fixed
Most
so
dangerous
many
thing in the
teeth
world.
because
Yeah.
of this damn thing.
Oh man. So I was in San Diego and I'm waiting and this guy comes flying down the road on one of these scooters and he goes to turn and it had rained a little bit and there was like a little,
oh,
he skidded out and just tumbled and ate the biggest shit I've ever seen in my life. And I started laughing immediately. I could not help myself. It was the funniest thing I've ever seen.
I think there needs to be, I don't know what time delay there needs, but there needs to be a little bit of a delay.
Yeah.
There
Yeah,
was
yeah. I
none?
mean,
No.
like
Oh, wow.
for me,
man.
for my
It
delay,
was funny.
for my milk delay, it was 3.5 years.
Yeah.
It
Yeah.
took me 3.5 years before I got.
So I think whenever, again, I'm going to try to bring this back to sleep, but it's interesting. So Kelly wasn't able to do that. And for me, it was like, just being supportive husband. And cause she went through a lot of stuff like, I'm not.
It's hard.
Yeah.
Yeah,
So
my
we
body
had to
doesn't
use-
work.
So we had to use formula. And I remember it was, and then people would look at us like and I'd have to go, no, her boobs don't work.
Yeah, exactly. She's
Because people
fine.
go, I can't believe you use this. No, her boobs don't. They're huge,
that's
but
the
they
thing.
just don't.
That doesn't help. Like just like we were saying, I would have double bagged it bullshit.
Yeah.
That doesn't help any of this.
Right.
It's like it's a societal kind of there needs to be a societal shift towards adequate breathing, architecture, health. Like, you know, if I don't know if anybody listened to the bonus episode, but you got to earn your shit. You got to earn your humanity.
By the way,
you got to earn the hard on.
I love it.
You got to earn your sleep.
I love it.
You got to earn your breathing. And it's through all of this, the struggle that we are as humans that give us the ability to live well. And right now, the bend is for humanity. What we want in our head is to get as far away from that as possible, but we still got to pay the piper. That just means we're going to be more anxious. If we're not willing to work, that means we're going to be more anxious. If we're not willing to breathe well and eat, that means we're going to die early. That means we're going to have the diabetes. That means we're going to have the shit that's going to keep us in the hospital.
Mm-hmm.
You know, aside from the really nasty stuff, right? Dude, I had a patient that came in the other day. She had 5 kids and my heart goes out to her. And she was just like, you know, she didn't know why, you know, we had to take out a tooth because she was clenching and grinding. And I was like, dude, you probably need a sleep study. You popped this tooth. We had to take it out. She ended up getting some degree of an infection after we took the tooth out.
Wow.
And then even that infection caused some numbness and stuff like that. And so it just some issues. And she wanted to blame taking the tooth out. I was like, whoa, we got to back up here a little bit.
Right.
The extraction was a result of you popping your teeth, which was a result of you clenching and grinding your teeth. And
Which
it's
is a
probably
result
because
of-
you're not sleeping well. So we need to do a sleep study. So let's go to the very, very tip top where the river started. Right.
Mhm.
And she was like, oh, so now I have to go get a study.
Yeah.
And then I have to wear a machine. It's like, damn right you do. Damn right you do, because you got to be a soldier. You got to live for these 5 kids. That's the game. It doesn't ever stop. You got to consistently try to make yourself healthier and better.
Wait. So when Mia graduates high school, I still
No, you're done. You're not done. No, you know this. You got to continue getting better because they're always going to look at you. And just like you got to be healthy so you can be there for the grandkids. I mean, you know, there is no stop in this fucking game, dude.
There's only one.
There's only one game, and we all got to play it with every fucking ounce of energy we got. And we can bitch and moan about how hard it is. I know you and I have been doing that with our practices, but this is the game, man.
Yeah.
It's not going away.
I think too.
And there's the same way with health, dude. There's the same way with sleep.
So people will ask this if I don't ask it. What ended up happening to me?
Well, she actually asked her to stand up out of the chair, and I gave her a hug. And I said, you're a fucking soldier. Like, you know, I don't care anymore. I've been doing dentistry long enough where I don't need the patient. So if I rub one the wrong way, it'd be perfectly fine.
Physically rub them the wrong way.
Yeah, I said, girl, you're a soldier, you're a warrior. You've been, whatever brought you here is going to keep you going, but you can't stop.
Yeah.
You got to keep on moving because you got 5 kids.
That's right.
And you owe it to them and they owe it to you. So I gave her a hug and I said, we're going to get through this. I will help guide you, but you got to do the work.
Love it.
And you know, like, which is like, she's probably like, oh, just came to the dentist. You know, but you know, that's the thing. You know, what's so crazy about dentistry and especially dental sleep is we're much more than that, dude. We have to be this weird kind of like,
Bub,
get your ass out of bed and fucking go and do the work.
So that has been a beautiful surprise for me in this journey. When I first took the job with SondaMed, obviously I thought I'm gonna kill it, right? In doing sleep, and to see the role of a dentist in my own head change. Like I haven't talked to you in a while. I ended up getting a horrible. I was chewing on something and my crown came out.
Yeah.
And I thought, I'll go. I know enough dentists. I'll just make some phone calls. But by the time I made that phone call, it was my face had swollen. I mean, it was. And this dentist in Lafayette, Louisiana, Gina, she was so awesome. And the way she took care of me, and then up in Tulsa, because I had to get another one put in. She helped just with the pain, go get the crown done. But to know, and I think I told Brandon this during one episode, how much respect I have now.
Yeah.
Because I still think people view the dentist a lot like I did before
Tolerate.
this. Like, I'll do whatever it takes, but man, when it hurts, I don't care how much it costs, just fix it.
Yeah.
I'm limping. They're like, why are you limping? My tooth hurts. But I think it's true. But to see the other side, all the hats and this sleep side has been amazing, because I have seen patients come in, and of course my company always wants us to video it, but I've seen them come in and go like, man, you saved my life.
Yeah.
Like, I'll throw it out there because she works with you guys, Dana Blaylock. Do I think Dana has to do her job now? I think she's set up in life. Dr. Ty is another one. I'll talk to iOS members. I think they're set up in life where they don't have to work. They've done well. Their families have done well. Their spouses do well. They're so passionate.
Dana sold her practice. She's got,
They're so passionate about what they do that that's what I love. And you guys are always passionate, but like, that's what I love. I love serving those and helping them save people's lives, because they're really doing it because they want to save lives.
Yeah. Well, and that's the message that I always try to bring to our frontline employees, because they're the ones who are having to deal with the kind of, talk about a person that's not fun to be around is somebody that can't sleep.
Yep.
They're complaining about stuff. They're blaming everybody else. They're yelling. They're upset. They're blaming the device. They're blaming their CPAP. There's a lot of different, and they're just trying to find answers. And so it's frustrating for them, no doubt. And I have to continue to tell our employees that, look, you are,
Brandon likes for me to cut people off and say team.
Team. Yep. You, no matter what, are saving lives. And I know, as hokey as that is to say,
I don't think so,
but it's very real. I mean, if you can't give one extra day for a grandfather with his or her kids, if you can get one parent where they're not yelling at their son or their daughter, if you can get one person behind a wheel that's not yelling at the person, you can get one person behind a wheel that doesn't fall asleep.
Thank you. There's a new study out there.
You're literally saving lives by helping people do the fundamental basics of life. And it's the most rewarding thing ever. It's just a pain in the ass to get paid for.
Yeah.
I mean, and that's the grease that keeps the wheel.
The original question is, how do we get more people doing this? The answer is you make it easier. But then, the flip side of that is, if you make it too easy, you take away the reason to be specialized in it, to have that expertise in it. And for
100%. No, I
come see you.
Yeah.
But, and so from a business standpoint, I'm kind of like, I don't mind it being hard, because we're going to jump through the hoops.
Yeah.
If it's hard, the people who really want to do it are going to do it. And if it's too easy, then everybody will do it, and everybody will do it kind of half-ass.
Yeah.
But I want people that
Phillies.
do it and do it good. So that's where, like, the idea behind iOS and coaching and consulting and all that kind of stuff is, this is really hard to do on your own. Trust me, I tried. I know that is hard. I spent hundreds of thousands of dollars trying to get this business started, way back when, before iOS. And, but if you have the support and the help and the coaching, at least it's still hard. You still have to do it, but at least you have a little bit of assistance in helping you get that done. So, I think that's the impact that we're trying to make, the impact that we're trying to have, on a level with our patients every day, is helping them sleep better, helping them feel better, improving relationships, improving health, improving wellness. And then on the grander scale is working with these other dentists, going out and working
physicians.
and the physicians that we work with, going out and working with the physicians, the cardiologists, the internal medicine doctors,
Just saw gastro
in there helping gastro. Is going out and having the impact through helping them help their patients, because then we increase the size of the web of what we're able to catch.
Yeah. One of the episodes of telling Brandon where I've had success lately is gastro. That's been really cool, going into these GI docs and saying, hey, here's another. Obviously, I've talked about low T before in these centers for testosterone. Everybody gets put on a CPAP. Think about it. If you're going into these centers that specialize in that, there's a female version of those. I don't know if y'all knew that. There's female versions of those that are out there that are owned by different entities. So that's another place.
Did I tell you about my wife? Have I told you about my wife? And
My
she
wife.
has my wife.
No, why?
She
Both the best sex in the bed and the best sex in the mouth.
Number 2, prostitute. All of Kakastan.
No, number 2.
so no, she had upper airway resistance syndrome.
Yeah.
And so
I didn't know that.
what she would do is in the middle of the night, she would jump at me. Sometimes she would hit me. Sometimes she would kick me. Sometimes she would run out of bed. Like if
Like
she
a
had
night terror?
night terror. Exactly.
Okay,
That's
gotcha.
what we would. That's what we would label it.
Gotcha.
And I was like, dude, something's up.
Yeah.
And so what ended up happening, we got her a test. She didn't have sleep apnea.
Yep.
I mean, she's a little bitty thing, but her oxygen ODI was really off. And she had a lot of non-snoring events, you
Yep.
know, flow limitations without snoring. And so we ended up getting her a device and stopped.
Oh yeah, Jenny wears one, and it's like 100%. If she forgets to put it in, she wakes up to pee at 2 a.m.
Yeah.
and she wears it. She sleeps through the night.
Yeah.
every
That's
single
it.
time.
Yeah, that's interesting
Yeah.
because, and I'm no jokes here.
So,
'cause
I mean, I think the
urology,
take-home
so I'm
is-
also working with.
Yeah,
now, too, and
100%.
that's
All
one of
the
the
time.
things that they go, well, I get up to go to the bathroom, and
So,
I show them
yeah.
that there's about 4 different studies out
Yeah.
there that say, no, it's not really. You
Yeah.
wake up,
And then you happen
gotta
to go
pee.
pee.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well, and that goes to say that AHI is such a blunt measurement for
Oh, don't
something
get me
that is
started.
more than likely very, very pervasive.
Yeah.
You know, the slices, the cross sections that we're taking throughout society are probably failing society at
Sure.
large. You know.
Well, one of the things Brandon and I discussed the other day, man, one of y'all's iOS dentists has this down, and it's beautiful. He uses O2 rings, and he purchased them, and he puts them on his patients. Not charging his patients. He puts them on the patients to monitor them. And again, you can say what you want about the rings or how they do, but it's still a measurement
Yeah.
where they could physically see an improvement from here's how I started with the same ring,
Yeah.
same checked out ring. And then once I have a device on, this is what it looks
Yeah.
like.
Oxygen measures oxygen
Yes,
saturation.
and it
Yeah, for
is.
sure.
I sent even the details to Brandon, and I was like, man, and that just goes to show you, because one of the things that I like to talk to my dentist about is that I'm again, I'll probably get kicked out of this world that I'm in with AASM, but AHI is it reminds me of growing up when blood pressure kept changing. Oh, the
Yeah.
gold standard is 140 over this. Oh no, it's 130 over this. Oh, it's 120.
Man, you know, we did the best we could with what we had.
Yeah.
I mean, the diagnostics are so much better right now. It's
Crazy.
so much
We
easier.
talked about
And you know,
technology.
now we're starting to look at the whole picture of an individual. The problem is there's an old guard that still minds AHI and only pays attention to CPAP. You
Well,
know, and
the problem with that old guard is that it's tied to what we started off this insurance.
Yeah.
Mhm.
And so why it's covered, it's got to be this many nights. I mean, it's just silly stuff. It's good to see you, brother. I
Yeah.
did not know. about
Are we
night
landing the
terrors.
plane?
No, I don't have a plane. I don't have a plane.
All right.
No, I don't have a plane. Dan, what are you doing?
Staring at the screen.
Okay.
Staring at the screen, making mental cuts. apparently.
So
Yeah.
we I want you just to take some mental notes. Now I have more accountability for you. Max, if he goes and makes an appointment with you guys, will y'all please look at his mouth?
Oh, 100%.
Thank you.
I mean, I'm looking at his mouth right now. I mean, it's a nice mouth.
You got a pretty
I
mouth.
was going to say, you're fantasizing though?
I mean, what did we? I'm the fluffer, and I.
We used to actually use
So-
that. I used to do that on the free throw line.
What,
whenever
fluff?
well, no. When I was playing basketball competitively on the free throw line, when somebody's shooting a free throw, we'd be like, "You got a pretty mouth, boy."
Yeah,
We told,
for
and
sure.
he would give us a little look, and then still shoot the free throw.
Yeah, for sure. No, of course I would.
Yeah, he needs to.
That's a lot nicer than the things we used to say. as
Veteran
football.
We
But they're
literally-
well,
we
I mean,
literally
it got-
have a-
it- it could get
We have a
bit.
sleep podcast. We have a doctor who specializes in this. You got a guy who works for a company who, you know, and then it was 2 episodes ago. He's like, I've been dentist.
10 years. It's been 10 years.
That's ridiculous.
It's been definitely maybe more than.
Did you hear what he was just saying about the mother?
Maybe
Like, dude, you get a
if we take a look at his mouth, y'all won't have to pay him for something, right? I mean, can we?
That's what I'm hoping there's at least a
bartering. We bartering.
some thousands of dollars worth of stuff that needs to be done.
It's like,
Yeah.
He's gonna come
pay
out
it
with
up.
some beautiful chiclets and
Yeah,
Well,
exactly.
Doesn't it cost like $50,000 to get your entire mouth redone or more?
60.
Even more than that? Yeah.
Yeah, I
I
can't.
thought the average was.
Well,
yeah.
let's hope that you don't need that.
No, I mean, it would be great, but I don't need that.
Yeah,
Yeah. Well, hey.
But
we'll see.
I did chip my tooth on a salad. I was eating a salad
So this
bit
is
the fork.
Oh, okay.
This is,
My
yeah.
front tooth chipped in half.
Yeah, you got to watch out for biting forks,
Yeah.
dude. I've
Huh?
when
You
I'm
got it
eating,
fixed, or
when
you-
I'm working.
It's here. You can see it if you want to look at it.
When I'm eating salads with individuals and I hear them bite the fork, I'm like, oh, dude.
It's
Yeah.
terrifying. I spit out some of my tooth.
What was that movie with Nicolas Cage where he couldn't do metal? He used plastic forks.
Oh, I don't know.
It was a great movie.
Yeah, Face Off,
No, who was the guy in
National Treasure.
No, watch this.
The Mo-
No, watch this. I'm gonna get you. Watch. Who's the guy with the
Raising
red hair
Arizona.
who does
Ghost Rider.
CSI Miami? He always takes his glasses
yeah,
off.
No, I know what you're talking about.
He's in the movie with Nick Cage.
Sounds
and
like a
his character-
fantastic movie.
It is. It's like classic, almost B.
I can tell you. I can
But
tell
he
you.
can't have four. It's a great character.
What I've been watching lately is Outer Range. Have y'all seen this?
I don't know what it is.
It's on Amazon Prime.
Okay.
Josh Brolin is the lead character.
He's the man.
It's basically like Yellowstone meets Twin Peaks. So if you've watched it, there's a like
I love Yellowstone. I've never seen Twin Peaks.
Twin Peaks is weird. It's just weird stuff.
Yeah.
Yeah, but it's pretty.
I've been to
interesting.
Twin Peaks restaurant.
Yeah, I think that's actually
Shocker.
where you and I did a little bit of business
Yeah, I
stuff.
think so.
Yeah,
What
it's
do you
actually is when what we were doing is we were going and we were looking at
Pflugerville.
yeah we were looking at
Real estate.
real estate, and then we came down and we went to Twin Peaks, and then we looked at all the different real estate.
Gotta get a little inspiration.
Yeah, so many comments I can make on
exactly.
that. So many comments. All right, we are coming up on time. Max, I know that you don't have anything major to plug. Besides,
Nothing to plug.
There you go. Sleep better. Austin.
You know, I think if I were
But I
to
do wanna
encourage
talk-
anybody,
Hold on.
it's to go
Okay.
out and it's to ask your PCP or ask your secondary care for a sleep study.
Yep.
Like make it ubiquitous. Call us if you don't have one. We could do it. We can do it across the nation,
Right.
and then we can help you try to find somebody that can help treat you, whether it be you, me, or Hedgecock.
Yep.
We can figure out somebody that can help treat you if you're not in the Austin Metroplex.
And do y'all want to promote anything with iOS membership? Anything events coming up?
Yeah.
Or where do they go to find
If
them?
you're a dentist and you're interested in really making a business out of this and you want to make it something big and you want to impact lives and you want to do it in a big way, if you just want to dabble and do one or two a month, it's not for you. This
Right.
is like you really want to do.
Y'all even offer a diplomat program.
We do. We have a diplomat program. Barry Glassman takes up a day a month. It's a serious.
yeah, it ain't no joke.
It's not a joke. I'll be honest. I didn't do it.
There's a
I
crazy
did a portion of it.
percentage. There's a crazy percentage I heard thrown out there. You know, I'm so in now, like of people who started and didn't finish.
Yeah, I didn't
And,
finish.
and it's like
I'm too busy.
So
It's-
people who completed, it's like a big.
If you go through this diplomat program,
I'm board
you-
certified with AADSM. By the
Yeah,
way.
you will know.
No judgments.
You
No,
will
I'm just
know-
saying that's how difficult it is. I went through that and I didn't go through this. I went through half of
You
it.
will know everything and anything you might ever need to know about sleep apnea, treating sleep apnea, oral appliances. I mean, you name it, it's covered. And then the business model and the coaching that you get. So ios.com, you can always reach out to me directly as well.
They have
And,
different events, whether it be quarterly or monthly.
Yep. Monthly
And again,
events.
one of the things you said that was pretty cool, and we'll end on this, is that it takes. I love about you know how big I am on accountability, challenging each other, but also helping each other and being that support. You said, "Damn, it's hard," but when you have someone who's doing it with you and it's right there walking with you during that hard, is good. And so I just think it's cool. So I'm glad that we were able to have you on camera.
Hey,
finally.
yeah, for sure.
Yep.
It's not a porn studio anymore.
No.
I'm
Hey,
glad that Dan agreed to finally go see one of you two guys
Yeah.
to go get.
Well, and if you ever, again, my offer is if you ever need a stand in, next time I plan on wearing a unitard.
Do you really?
I mean, I do have a singlet.
Singlet. Wear the singlet.
You want me
Because
to?
we can we focus on the deadhead flip flops for a second?
Yeah.
Only I would.
I
Notice
don't
this.
particularly like my feet.
No, you got pretty feet.
Yeah.
I'm going to tell you right
Definitely
now,
narrow.
deadhead
Yeah, I got narrow
flip
feet.
flops.
Yeah.
Let's grab our drinks, gentlemen.
There's
Use
not
that,
much of mine
term
left.
very loosely. Thank you for sleeping around.
Yep.
Dr. Brandon Matthew. Max, you're the man.
The man.
The man.
When
We didn't have the board
goes
for it.
down and the moon is high, we'll be chasing stars to the morning light. Come on, fly with me. Take a ride with me.
That was the fastest thing I've ever seen in my entire life. I mean, people have gone as elaborate as who's the most elaborate here? Probably that one.
Hey, I don't need it.
I feel you.